Hey lovelies, sending you all heaps of love. I love you all. Thanks for tuning in. If this content resonates with you, let me know. Otherwise, I'm happy to offer more video content for free. That's not a problem. Just loving hearing what you're resonating with, if it's helping you shift and change things, or even if it's bringing up resistance. So I wanted to follow on from my video on omnipresence. And when I applied this new parameter to different areas of my life, I stumbled across something really interesting. So when we're working with linear time, when we are working with the structure and the order that our physical reality requires based on our past conditioning and awareness, we know that process is important. We know that sequence is important. The idea that if I want to get where I'm going, then I need to put in the work to make it happen here. And that is beautiful, concrete, anchoring awareness that the base chakra absolutely loves, that works with our fundamentals of survival and resilience and building upon the ideas around progress and healing. So I know that the things that I do today will benefit many different future selves or future timelines that I would hope to invest in. And that's what my audio content on my Patreon page addressed. We looked at and discussed how the fear of current times can have us investing in a future timeline we actually don't want. And when we reframe that to, well, what could I do today? What could I do right now in this present moment that would start building the world that I actually want? So check that out if that resonates with you. When I looked at linear time and the linear progression of life, and when I looked at goals and planning and the places that I'm looking to be at on a linear future timeline, I sat with awareness and I opened up the experience. And I said, well, is the linear steps that I'm invested in taking to get me where I want to go, are they critically important, or are they linking me to a linear framework that might actually be limiting me in this moment? So are those steps important, or are they just regulating and moderating my experience based on my ego's capacity for progress? So just stay with me on this one. So when I was breaking down places I want to get to or things that are going to happen, I've been doing this a lot lately because I've been asking my guides, show me 5 years, show me 10 years, show me that timeline, show me this one. Where does this go? Where are we going here? Like, what is this transition about and what is my place in it? Show me that timeline in 5 years. Show me that one in 20 years. Show me this choice now. Show me that in 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, 10 years. Show me where I'm investing. Now, I'm pretty good at understanding when I'm investing in the past because I can feel a leak and it pulls me back. Pulls me out of creativity, out of joy and spontaneity. Pulls me out of where I am now in this moment and where I could be in my future timeline. I'm not investing in my future timeline as in I'm connecting or attaching to my future. I am sitting in this moment and understanding where my attachments are that are preventing me from being in this moment. When I'm in this moment, I can find realizations, revelations, energy, alignment, awareness, abundance, all of it in this moment. If my mind is trailing down a narrative connected to my past, it doesn't matter if it's yesterday, last week, or 10 years ago, I can now acknowledge the feeling of being there because I'm not here. So when we're in that omnipresent state, which means let's open up what linear time is trying to hold us to, and I wanted to know, is it just a place I'm at to understand my world? Is it necessary for me to anchor into linear time and progression so that I can stay in my physical form, in my human experience, in a place that feels grounded? Or is that actually now creating a limitation around where I could be, what I could be aware of, where my knowledge place could expand to? And when I looked at it all and broke it all down and had a look around every perspective of it, and I usually do that from a bird's eye perspective, I look at myself now, or I look at the people around me now, and I look at our progression. I look at the timeline that I would love to be a part of in the future, and I look at those steps that I believe are important for me to get there. Right, so we need to invest in this before we can do the next step, and then that would probably naturally go to this, and then hoping that would relate to that. But do I need to take those steps, or are those steps just pulling me back into a framework that I might be evolving beyond? And if so, how do I dissolve that limitation? How do I dissolve the need for the steps but still be completely invested in my moment, in this moment, and anchor into the future timeline that I thought was maybe a few years away right now? So what I did was I put myself there and I felt into my body. What did my body say? My body was saying, I've made it. This is amazing. This is awesome. It's working. All of these things. And the fire inside me was burning really bright, but it was really central. I could feel it. It wasn't quite excitement. It was a new level of fulfillment. It was like, whoa, this is really cool. This is really exciting. This is really fun. And when I looked back at my current energy systems in the moment, I could see there was this, well, I just have to do that bit before I get to that bit and then that bit. So I'm excited and I'm invested, but I know that my eagerness and my urgency need to be moderated, otherwise I might not get there. So I just transferred the feelings from the future timeline that I resonated with and I put them in my body. And that's when the steps started to dissolve away. And my body registered, I'm here, it's happening, it's working, I've made it. And all of a sudden, the parameters and the hard work of the steps in their linear form melted away. And I was just there. What I wanted was registering in my body. And I knew that I didn't have to wait for those external circumstances to reflect back to me this idea that the steps have worked. So I could just be there. And that started to reorganize my reality, because it reorganizes your ego. And your ego is there to organize the reality coming in based on your experience here, based on everything you've learned, based on who you are and all of the things. But when I transplanted my energy systems back into my body in this moment, it started to reorganize my ego again. Saying, well, it's not about your hard work and how you get there. It's about being in alignment with the vibration of that outcome and being the higher frequency of that. So if your body already signals to you that you've made it, then you start to function from the frequency of your future self making it. I hope this makes sense. So let's break it down. So if I was using this with someone, a client of some sort, and they told me they want to buy a house or buy some land and grow their own food and not have to work anymore. Great, beautiful dream. I would probably try and put them there through visualization, and I would ask them to walk around the property that they now own and walk around their beautiful veggie gardens. And I'd ask them to describe the feeling of not needing to go to work tomorrow because this is it, you've made it. And I'd get their body to respond to that. So the neurochemistry, the alignment, the cells, they need to all program to that outcome. And I would get them to stay there and anchor it in. Now we might anchor that in a word or a feeling or a snapshot or a memory, depending on if they're visual or language based, depending on if they're highly intuitive. And I would get them to reinstall that program over and over, which might look like something like, I want you to go visit your block of land and walk around your veggie gardens every time you feel upset or frustrated in this moment. I want you to name that farm, that piece of land that you have already bought in some reality, and I want you to bring it into your being. Like it's already happened, we're just taking the steps to get there. And I would anchor them in that reality so that they are already there in that abundance, and their body knows how to respond to that reality. And then all it is a magnet. Of course, your universe would take you there. Of course, your ego would reprogram towards your beautiful farm and that outcome, because you're already signaling to your nervous system that it's happened. So see if you can give that a go when you're meditating or sitting in silence or finding that time for yourself. I want you to put yourself in the outcome that you want and get your body to release the same energy frequency, the neurochemistry, the thoughts, everything along with the feeling involved with that outcome, and bring it back with you so that you can understand in this moment that you're already there, that it's already possible. But further accept that now, this moment here, is important for you to be in love with and accept, because it will take you on that road to there. You can be in love with this moment because you now know that that reality is happening, that you're creating that your body is already sinking towards that outcome. So when you come back into the present, you can have this beautiful acceptance and compassion and love for this moment, because it's taking you there, because you're already there. But this moment is part of that story. So falling in love with this moment and this version of yourself, knowing that those timelines are already happening, knowing those choices are already there, knowing that your reality is already arranging itself to get you there. And all we have to do is stay aligned with ourselves and be in this moment and tap into every resource that we have, whether they're tangible or not, and understand what's playing out and the enormous power within you that is already there, expressing itself for all of the abundant outcomes that you have always dreamed of. So, beautiful people, I hope that resonates. Let me know if it does. You can find me on many different platforms now, and join me on Patreon if you want to be a part of these really awesome group coaching calls that we're about to do. You also get to see all videos and all content first. So right when I make them, they go onto Patreon first and then onto YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. So join me there, beautiful people, and all the love to you today. Much love. Bye.